Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
My name is Catherine, and today we have a very weather-focused lesson. It's all about all the horrible things that can happen to you with the weather.
Exactly. So as you know, there are many different types of weather, and not only rain or sunshine, but many other phenomena. So we're going to take a look at some of those. But before we go into it, let's take a look at one word on Vocabulary Preview.
Vocabulary Preview.
Okay, so we're talking about extreme weather today. That's not rain or drizzle or sunshine. We're talking about really interesting, unique, and sometimes devastating things that can happen. So today's vocabulary word is Armageddon.
All right, so Armageddon. Now, you've probably seen the movie Armageddon. So what does this word mean?
Okay, so this word is a reference to the end of the world. It means the time when the world will end because of a great catastrophe or a great disaster.
Okay, so everyone talks about Armageddon. It's mentioned in the Bible. And as you say, it's when the world stops existing.
Exactly. So think about that one as we listen to today's dialogue. We will be back in a minute to talk about what's going on.
Those are the headlines for today. And now for the International Weather Report with Mike Sanderson.
Thank you, Bob. This past week has been the beginning of Armageddon for many, as a series of unprecedented meteorological events occurred around the world. In Switzerland, a major avalanche was reported in the Alps. Fortunately, no one was injured. Due to the extreme cold this winter, a blizzard has struck the U.S. Midwest, causing classes in schools and universities to be temporarily canceled. Moving on to Latin America, Ecuador has suffered a 6-month drought that has not only affected farming, but has also forced the closure of the hydroelectric power plant that provides electricity for the entire country. In Chile, a major earthquake that registered 7.5 on the Richter scale struck the southern region. Losses are reported to be in the billions. Authorities have not yet released an official statement.
Not a great week for the world. Any good news?
I'm afraid not, Bob. One of the major volcanoes in Mexico has erupted, causing major floods and landslides in the region. Meanwhile, Mexico's coast has been hit by Hurricane Liliana, and officials say that all the seismic activity leads them to believe that a tsunami may hit Central America, affecting Honduras, Guatemala, and Panama. That's all the news we have for today, but stay tuned for updates on the 6 o'clock news. Back to you, Bob.
All right, we're back, and well, this weather report is not really far from the truth. I mean, this kind of stuff happens every day all over the world, right?
That's correct. And unfortunately, it's been happening very frequently in the past couple months. We've heard of a lot of earthquakes and volcanoes and things like that. So this is very valuable stuff when you're trying to talk about current events as well.
Okay, so why don't we start now analyzing a couple of different words and phrases on language takeaway.
Language takeaway.
Well, the first vocabulary item we have here is meteorological event. It's a real mouthful. It's a long word.
Meteorological.
So, for example, meteorological means having to do with the weather, something that's related to the weather. So, a meteorological event could be rain, snow.
Okay, so it has to do with meteorology.
Meteorology is the study of the weather, and someone who does this is a meteorologist.
So usually the weathermen that you see on TV, they're meteorologists.
So let's go now to Marco, our resident meteorologist.
There we go.
Our resident meteorologist.
Right, okay. So meteorological events. Now moving on, one of the first events that we're going to look at is an avalanche.
Avalanche. An avalanche has to do with snow. This means that when a mountain that has a lot of snow on it, maybe part of that snow breaks off and starts to roll down, you have a wall of snow that comes down. That's an avalanche.
That's an avalanche.
So you could say, avalanche! Right. When the snow comes down. And it's actually very dangerous because people can get buried under the snow.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so another event that has to do with snow is a blizzard.
Okay, a blizzard is different from an avalanche because an avalanche, maybe it's not snowing, the snow just falls. But in a blizzard, you're talking about a storm of snow.
But it's like a lot of snow coming down from the sky.
So much snow that you probably can't see anything. There's just white everywhere.
Okay. All right, so that's a blizzard. A lot of snow coming down from the sky. Now, moving on, the opposite of snow and things being wet is we have a drought.
Yeah, this is the opposite of wet, actually. So there's no rain in a drought. A drought means that things are very dry. The land is very dry.
Okay, so it's a period of time that there's no snow, there's no water, there's no rain, there's nothing. It's very, very dry. We're going through a drought.
Correct. And the problem with a drought is very dangerous is because people cannot grow food in a drought. And so lots of people starve when this happens.
Okay, so you gotta watch out for a drought. Now, in this case, it not only affected farming, but also we have a hydroelectric power plant that can't work, obviously, because there's no water.
So hydro means water. Hydroelectric means electricity that is generated by flowing water. And so, for example, a mill, something that churns water on a river, is a way to get power from water. But
Right.
a hydroelectric project that can give you electricity is maybe like a dam or an electric mill.
Right. So usually you have these on rivers and they just take advantage of the flowing of water to turn some huge turbines and generate power. So that's all we have for now. Why don't we listen to the dialogue again? And we'll be back shortly to take a look at some more words.
Those are the headlines for today. And now for the International Weather Report with Mike Sanderson.
Thank you, Bob. This past week has been the beginning of Armageddon for many, as a series of unprecedented meteorological events occurred around the world. In Switzerland, a major avalanche was reported in the Alps. Fortunately, no one was injured. Due to the extreme cold this winter, a blizzard has struck the U.S. Midwest, causing classes in schools and universities to be temporarily canceled. Moving on to Latin America, Ecuador has suffered a 6-month drought that has not only affected farming, but has also forced the closure of the hydroelectric power plant that provides electricity for the entire country. In Chile, a major earthquake that registered 7.5 on the Richter scale struck the southern region. Losses are reported to be in the billions. Authorities have not yet released an official statement.
Not a great week for the world. Any good news?
I'm afraid not, Bob. One of the major volcanoes in Mexico has erupted, causing major floods and landslides in the region. Meanwhile, Mexico's coast has been hit by Hurricane Liliana, and officials say that all the seismic activity leads them to believe that a tsunami may hit Central America, affecting Honduras, Guatemala, and Panama. That's all the news we have for today, but stay tuned for updates on the 6 o'clock news. Back to you, Bob.
Well, a word that many people are unfortunately familiar with is Richter or Richter scale. And now this is something that a lot of people are talking about right now because of the earthquake in Sichuan, China last year, and the earthquake in Haiti very recently. And so the Richter scale, that's a big R because it's a proper name, is a way for us to determine how severe, how big the earthquake was.
Right, so people talk about a 6.0, a 7.1, so that's on the Richter scale.
The lowest is 0 and the highest is 10, correct?
Right, but 10 is like impossible, apparently.
Apparently, and a lot of them are actually underwater, but the very serious ones are maybe 8.0, 7.0.
All right, so Richter scale. Now, we talked about earthquakes, we talked about snowing. Now, let's talk about a volcano. A volcano in Mexico has erupted.
Okay, so we've got two words here, volcano. A volcano is a mountain that has an opening in the center where lava from the middle of the earth, the center of the earth, can come out. So it's very dangerous, obviously, because it's very hot.
Right.
But a volcano doesn't open, it erupts. So the verb here that we use with a volcano is to erupt.
Okay, so it doesn't explode, a volcano erupts.
That means to open violently, very quickly.
Okay, so when this happens, obviously you have a lot of lava, you have maybe snow that melts, and you have floods and landslides.
Okay, landslides. A landslide is one word, but it's made up of two words that you probably already know. So land, obviously, it's the ground and
the
things
earth.
like that, the earth. But a slide is to move down across the ground. And so a landslide happens when you've got something like lava or water that's pushing all of the earth, all of the ground down, and it's destroying houses and trees and land, and it's very, very destructive.
Right. So you usually see this that happens on the side of mountains or on the side of hills where all that land starts to slide down or to go down. And it's very similar to an avalanche, right? But instead of snow falling down, it's land.
Mud and land.
Mud, yeah. All right. So we have a landslide. And because of all the eruptions and the earthquakes, they said that they have a lot of seismic activity.
This word seismic is something that I've heard a lot recently in movies like 2012.
Yeah.
So seismic means having to do with the movement of the plates under the Earth's crust. So, the Earth is not everything that we see. It's also activity, things happening underneath the ground.
Right.
And so underneath the ground, we have these big plates, and seismic activity is what happens when these kind of things start to move. Activity is movement. And so seismic activity refers to earthquakes and volcanoes, things that are changing under the ground that will affect us.
Okay. So that's seismic activity. It's pronounced seismic, right?
Seismic, that's correct.
Okay. And because of all this activity, people say that they may have a tsunami.
Well, this doesn't sound very English, does it?
I know, tsunami. And actually, if you see the spelling, it's with a T, T-S.
Right, I think it's a Japanese word, but I'm not positive.
I think so too.
Tsunami is the name that we give to a giant tidal wave. So that's a wave of water in the ocean that's very, very dangerous because it can get to 100, 200 feet tall. And this means that when it comes down, it can destroy houses, cities, cars, things like that.
Right.
And there was a very, very famous tsunami in Southeast Asia in 2004. Do you remember that?
Yeah, and in Indonesia, right?
That's right, in Indonesia and Thailand and Vietnam.
Yeah, it was intense. It was big. And it was also because of an earthquake, right?
I think so. All these earthquakes, they move the earth around, and then all of a sudden the reaction is that there's water that moves,
This
and the water
huge wave.
then turns into a wave.
Yeah, just imagine what happens if you have a bucket of water and then you start moving the bucket just a little bit, and you see how water starts to splat all over the place.
That's right.
All right, so tsunami was our last word for today. Why don't we listen to our dialogue again, and we'll be back shortly.
Those are the headlines for today. And now for the International Weather Report with Mike Sanderson.
Thank you, Bob. This past week has been the beginning of Armageddon for many, as a series of unprecedented meteorological events occurred around the world. In Switzerland, a major avalanche was reported in the Alps. Fortunately, no one was injured. Due to the extreme cold this winter, a blizzard has struck the U.S. Midwest, causing classes in schools and universities to be temporarily canceled. Moving on to Latin America, Ecuador has suffered a 6-month drought that has not only affected farming, but has also forced the closure of the hydroelectric power plant that provides electricity for the entire country. In Chile, a major earthquake that registered 7.5 on the Richter scale struck the southern region. Losses are reported to be in the billions. Authorities have not yet released an official statement.
Not a great week for the world. Any good news?
I'm afraid not, Bob. One of the major volcanoes in Mexico has erupted, causing major floods and landslides in the region. Meanwhile, Mexico's coast has been hit by Hurricane Liliana, and officials say that all the seismic activity leads them to believe that a tsunami may hit Central America, affecting Honduras, Guatemala, and Panama. That's all the news we have for today, but stay tuned for updates on the 6 o'clock news. Back to you, Bob.
So, Marco, these are all pretty terrifying. Have you ever experienced a meteorological event like one of the ones that we talked about today?
I've actually lived it through like 3 earthquakes, like pretty big ones.
Well, that's because you used to live in Los Angeles.
In LA, yeah. So we get them all the time in LA. Apart from that, I've seen a volcano erupt a couple of times because Ecuador is part of the volcano alley, right? Mm-hmm. It's all the Andes mountains, and it's part of the circle of fire, what they call. So we have a couple of different active volcanoes, and from time to time they will start to smoke or to spew some lava, but nothing major. Like there hasn't been a major catastrophe with the volcanoes. hopefully it won't either.
Well, and these days they have a lot of equipment, seismic equipment and meteorological equipment that can help meteorologists to determine when things will happen, like when a volcano will erupt or if there will be an earthquake, because they can study the tremors in the ground.
Right. Yeah, and I think probably the most famous volcano is, I think it was in Italy, right? Mount Vesuvius.
That's right. So you've got Mount Vesuvius in Naples, which famously destroyed a number of cities in this ancient civilization and ancient
What is a major
Roman times.
eruption?
It was, and what's amazing is that they still have a lot of the buildings
Underground,
under
right?
the ash.
Wow.
Because when all the ash settled, it preserved the bodies like a mummy.
That's
and so you
crazy.
can see the bodies and the things that they, their jewelry and their money, and it's fascinating because it's this horrible, horrible natural disaster actually helped us in the future learn about this old civilization.
Yeah, it's crazy. Actually, in Ecuador, you can see a huge hole that has like a lake in the middle, and you're like, oh wow, that's beautiful. But that's actually caused because the entire mountain just kind of blew the top off, like the cone, because of this major eruption. So you can just imagine
Wow.
how powerful these eruptions are. I can just imagine what it would have been like Mount Vesuvius. But anyway, on a brighter note, if you have any questions, any comments, or any stories of your own, maybe you've lived through a typhoon, a hurricane, or tornado, you can come to our website, englishpod.com.
We hope to see you there.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Bye. The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
Great snow. Blizzard. A prolonged period of scanty rainfall. Drought. A very big rain and windstorm. Hurricane. A large sea wave produced by an earthquake. Tsunami. Something tech relating to or caused by an earthquake. Seismic activity.
Let's try that faster.
A very big rain and windstorm. Hurricane. A prolonged period of scanty rainfall. Drought. Something tech relating to or caused by an earthquake. Seismic activity. Great snow. Blizzard. A large sea wave produced by an earthquake. Tsunami.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Blizzard.
With the blizzard came strong gusts of wind, freezing temperatures, and near zero visibility because of all the blowing snow.
Blizzard.
The blizzard warning will remain in effect until tomorrow morning, when the winds will die down to about 30 kilometers per hour.
Blizzard.
If you really need to venture out into that blizzard with your car, you are going to have to go at a crawl because of the near whiteout conditions and the danger of drifting.
Drought.
The lack of rain in the spring and the above average temperatures caused a drought in the late summer.
Drought.
We have to start conserving water because of the drought.
Drought.
For about half a decade in the 1930s, The prairies in Canada and the United States experienced a severe drought, during which there were numerous dust storms, and the land became a wasteland.
Hurricane.
Several mudslides occurred in this region shortly after the hurricane passed through.
Hurricane.
North Atlantic hurricanes are formed off the tip of Africa, build as they travel across the Atlantic Ocean, and then finally hit the Caribbean and the southern United States at full force.
Hurricane.
The weather became very calm all of a sudden, and we knew that the eye of the hurricane was passing over us.
Seismic activity.
He measured the earthquakes using a seismograph and noticed the increase in seismic activity.
Seismic activity.
Seismic activity can cause new land masses to form and the destruction of others.
Seismic activity.
The seismic activity caused earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and multiple tsunamis.
Tsunami.
When there is a massive earthquake on the ocean floor, a lot of water is displaced, forming a tsunami as this water travels towards land.
Tsunami.
The Indian Ocean tsunami in 2004 was caused by one of the largest earthquakes ever recorded.
Tsunami.
She looked out over the land, still flooded in areas by water left by the tsunami that had ravaged her home just days before.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
My name is Catherine, and we are your English language guides here at English Pod.
That's right, and today we're going to be taking you to Christmas morning. It's Christmas Day.
Oh, one of the best times of the year. You wake up, you smell the good smell of delicious eggs and bacon, and there's presents.
Yeah, I guess that's when you're a kid, though. I guess when you're an adult, do you really get excited when you wake up for Christmas?
Hell yeah. Sure do. Yeah, I sure do. I love Christmas morning, even as an adult.
Especially, I think, because of the special breakfast you get, like pancakes, scrambled eggs. Mm-hmm. But anyways, we're going to be taking a look at a situation here where a kid is opening Christmas presents and we're preparing a meal for Christmas because that day people are going to come over. So let's listen to this dialogue for the first time.
Dad! Wake up! It's Christmas!
Timmy, it's too early for this. Look, it's 6 in the morning. Go back to bed.
No way! Santa already came and left all our presents. Can we go open them, please? Please?
Of course we can, honey. Bill, come on, get dressed.
Fine. Not like Santa brought me any gifts.
Bill, honestly, you can be such a grouch sometimes.
Look at all these presents under the Christmas tree. Awesome!
All right, Timmy, knock yourself out. We should get ready and head to the market to buy everything for Christmas dinner tonight.
Yeah, you're right. It's the first time we're hosting Christmas dinner at our house, so everything has to be perfect.
I got the list right here. Ham, turkey, mashed potatoes, ingredients for the gravy, and of course, yams.
My dad offered to bring the eggnog, so we should be set.
All right, we're back. So there were a couple of different and interesting words there. So let's take a look at them now in language takeaway.
Language takeaway.
Okay, this first word is not a very happy word. It's a word that we try not to use too much around the Christmas season, but sometimes you're just tired of people because the holidays is all about people and doing stuff.
Family.
So someone who's not being very happy, someone who's a little bit grumpy is called a grouch.
Okay, so a person that's not very happy, not very friendly, is a grouch.
I don't want to open presents. This is stupid.
Okay,
Right,
that's a grouch.
Okay, so a person is a grouch, or you can act like a grouch, or be a grouch.
Don't be a grouch.
All right. And, well, they were talking about heading to the market to buy something for dinner. So, to head to.
Okay, to head to is a way to say to go towards someplace or to go somewhere.
All right, so if I'm driving my car and you ask me where I'm going, I'm saying, oh, I'm heading to the bank.
Right, so to head to means to be on your way somewhere. I'm going somewhere. It's a way to say that you're in the process of going. You can't say, next year I will head to Alaska.
Okay.
It doesn't make as much sense. You usually say, I'm heading to the bank or
Let's head to the market.
head to the market.
Okay. And, well, they were talking about heading to the market because they are hosting Christmas dinner. So, to host.
To host is it's a very important holiday term. It's a verb. You do it. And it means that you are the person who has the special dinner and your friends and family, they come to your house.
Okay.
Okay, so we could say, this Christmas, I'm hosting the dinner at my house.
Okay.
So I want everyone to come to my house and eat.
All right. And it can also be a noun, right? You can say, I am a host.
Exactly.
I'm the host of this dinner.
Right. And it doesn't have to be holidays either. You could say, hey, Marco, how about you host a dinner next week? I'll come.
Right. Okay.
I'll bring wine.
All right. So, to host a dinner or to host a party, etc. And our fourth word for language takeaway is probably the most popular drink during the Christmas season, eggnog.
Okay, it sounds kind of disgusting.
Yeah.
Eggnog.
A drink with egg.
Ugh.
But it's a very popular creamy, eggy drink. It's very thick and it's cream colored. And normally you add a little bit of rum.
Okay,
to
so
make
it's
it
alcoholic.
Yeah. And you drink it warm. And it's kind of just a thick, warm alcoholic beverage that's very, very popular. And my dad loves it.
During Christmas, right? Usually
During Christmas.
you don't have it like in any other day.
No, you wouldn't want to. It's too heavy.
Okay.
But it's very, very popular like the days before Christmas and on Christmas.
Okay, so eggnog. Very good. So I think we should take a look at the dialogue again, and we'll be back soon with Fluency Builder.
Dad! Wake up! It's Christmas!
Timmy, it's too early for this. Look, it's 6 in the morning. Go back to bed.
No way! Santa already came and left all our presents. Can we go open them, please? Please?
Of course we can, honey. Bill, come on, get dressed.
Fine. Not like Santa brought me any gifts.
Bill, honestly, you can be such a grouch sometimes.
Look at all these presents under the Christmas tree. Awesome!
All right, Timmy, knock yourself out. We should get ready and head to the market to buy everything for Christmas dinner tonight.
Yeah, you're right. It's the first time we're hosting Christmas dinner at our house, so everything has to be perfect.
I got the list right here. Ham, turkey, mashed potatoes, ingredients for the gravy, and of course, yams.
My dad offered to bring the eggnog, so we should be set.
All right, we're back. So now let's take a look at a couple of phrases on Fluency Builder.
Fluency builder.
Okay, so this first phrase is a phrase that I often heard as a child because I never wanted to go to sleep. So I'd go downstairs and then my parents would say, Catherine, go back to bed.
Go back to bed.
Okay, go back to bed. So this is just a very common, colloquial, spoken way of saying, go back to sleep.
Go to sleep.
Don't be awake.
So you can say go to sleep, or you can say go to bed. Or if somebody has gotten out of bed, you say go back to bed.
Exactly. And so parents often use this with their kids because they want their kids to sleep. But you can also say it about someone who's, up at night worrying and you say, come on, go back to bed.
Relax.
Go sleep, relax.
Okay. And then we also saw this phrase, knock yourself out. All right, Timmy, knock yourself out. So what is this, knock yourself out?
Well, I'm not really sure where this phrase comes from. I mean, to knock is like to knock on a door, right? But to knock yourself out, if I think about it, it probably means that you hit yourself in the head and you fall over. But the real meaning of this is go have fun, okay? Have as much fun as you can have.
Right. Have as much fun as you want. Go knock yourself out.
So the parent is saying, hey, Timmy, go have as much fun as you want. Just go do it. Enjoy yourself.
Yeah, like go open all these presents, have all the fun you want. All right, and then we saw another phrase when they finished talking about dinner and all the things they have to buy. They said, we should be set. We should be set, or we are set.
Well, this is funny because she says, well, my dad's going to bring the eggnog, so we should be set, which means we should have everything we need.
So we don't need anything else. We're ready. Everything is good.
Exactly. So we can say we are set. I'm set. Are you set? It's a way to say, are you ready? Are you prepared? Do you have everything you need?
Okay.
So I often use this when I'm going on a trip. I say,
Right.
Are you set? Did you pack everything? Are you all set?
Are you all set? Yeah. Or I finished packing. I'm all set. I'm ready to go.
All set and ready to go.
All right. Okay, so some interesting phrases there as well. Why don't we have a look at our dialogue for the last time?
Dad! Wake up! It's Christmas!
Timmy, it's too early for this. Look, it's 6 in the morning. Go back to bed.
No way! Santa already came and left all our presents. Can we go open them, please? Please?
Of course we can, honey. Bill, come on, get dressed.
Fine. Not like Santa brought me any gifts.
Bill, honestly, you can be such a grouch sometimes.
Look at all these presents under the Christmas tree. Awesome!
All right, Timmy, knock yourself out. We should get ready and head to the market to buy everything for Christmas dinner tonight.
Yeah, you're right. It's the first time we're hosting Christmas dinner at our house, so everything has to be perfect.
I got the list right here. Ham, turkey, mashed potatoes, ingredients for the gravy, and of course, yams.
My dad offered to bring the eggnog, so we should be set.
All right, we're back. So as you mentioned, Christmas morning is great. You open presents and, well, breakfast, and it's a time to be together with your parents, your family, but as in this case, you can be a little bit of a grouch because you just kind of tired because you had Thanksgiving in November and then Christmas and now you're having New Year's, so you're kind of just like, ugh.
Yeah, the holiday season can be exhausting, and I know a lot of families have a special dinner on the 24th. That's Christmas Eve. And then by the time it's Christmas Day, the 25th, you're exhausted, you didn't get any sleep, you might have had too much to drink last night. And so it can be very tiring. Also because the kids always get up way too early, like 6 o'clock.
Right, to open their presents, right? And then they'll be playing with their toys all day and you'll have a headache. But it's a great season to spend time with the family, and well, we want to know how you spend your Christmas Eve and your Christmas morning. So why don't you come to our website, englishpod.com, and leave your questions and comments there as well.
We're looking forward to hearing from you. Again, happy holiday season, and until next time.
Bye.
Bye.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
A bad-tempered person. Grouch. Go ahead. Do as you please. Knock oneself out. Go directly to. Head to. Hold an activity. Host. Ready for something. Set.
Let's try that faster.
A bad-tempered person. Grouch. Ready for something. Set. Go directly to. Head to. Go ahead. Do as you please. Knock oneself out. Hold an activity. Host.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Grouch. That old man is such a grouch. He yells at anyone who even steps into his yard. Grouch. My friend was really grouchy today after they lost the football game. Grouch. I was really grouchy because I hadn't eaten all day. Knock oneself out. Here we are, the amusement park. All right, kids, knock yourself out. Knock oneself out. You guys are going to have a great time at the zoo. Knock yourself out. Knock oneself out. Knock yourself out at the dance tomorrow night, all right? Head to. I need to head to the corner store to get more milk. Head to. She headed to the church for the Christmas Eve service. Head to. You need to head to the doctor's office right now and get that cough checked out. Host. I'm hosting a games night at my house on Thursday nights. Host. He decided to host the party at his parents' place. Host. My sister is hosting a birthday supper for her friend. Set. Once I get the ribbon, we should be set to start wrapping the presents. Set. We should be set to go as soon as my friend arrives. Set. With this new job, I should be set for life.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
My name is Catherine, and today we have an advanced level lesson for you guys all about food. What kind of food are we talking about today, Marco?
Today we're talking about cheese. So there's so many different types of cheese, so many varieties. So we're going to take a look at these varieties. You may know them or not, but we're also going to take a look at the pronunciation because most of them are either Italian or French. So how do you pronounce these in maybe in American English?
Good question. Let's listen to our dialogue for the first time, and we'll be back in a moment to talk about the wonderful world of cheese.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lori, and I want to welcome you to this course. We will learn all about one of the oldest yet most delicious foods on this planet, cheese. Let's get started. Cheese is usually categorized into 4 types: soft, semi-soft, semi-hard, and hard. The designation refers to the amount of moisture in the cheese, which directly affects its texture. Making cheese is an ancient practice dating back thousands of years, and the home cheesemaker can usually find recipes for cheese that fall into any of the 4 categories. Soft cheese includes cottage cheese, cream cheese, ricotta, brie, blue, roquefort, mozzarella, Munster, and similar cheeses. These cheeses generally pair well with fruit or meats and can be used as breakfast cheeses in an omelette or as pasta fillings. They are usually mildly flavored and very high in moisture. American, Colby, Kojak, and similar cheeses are in the semi-soft category. These are slightly stronger in flavor and cover a wide range of uses. Kojak cheese, a blend of Colby and Monterey Jack, is one of the most popular. This allows the sharper flavor of the Colby to be combined with the milder Jack cheese and also melts better than plain Colby. Grilled cheese sandwiches often use American cheese, and Mexican cheeses such as asadero and queso fresco are becoming more popular. Hard cheeses include Parmesan, Romano, Asiago, Swiss, Gruyere, and others. Parmesan and Romano are most familiar as the grated powder used to top spaghetti, but they are also used as accompaniments for fruit, wine, nuts, and other appetizer items. Swiss is a popular sandwich cheese and melts well, unlike some other hard cheeses.
All right, we're back. So obviously this is a very interesting lesson because it also gives us an insight onto how cheeses are categorized. I personally did not know that you had all these categories of cheeses, starting out with the soft cheeses.
That's right. So basically they're broken into these soft, semi-soft, semi-hard, and hard categories. The soft cheeses are the ones that are actually, you could touch them and they're soft. They kind of move under your finger.
Right.
And the famous ones, I think, are cottage cheese, which is almost like yogurt.
Yeah, and cream cheese is all.
And cream cheese as well. But also ricotta and brie and roquefort and mozzarella.
So, for example, these cheeses, they're usually, they're obviously very soft cheeses. Do you say cheeses or cheese or cheese-eye?
Yeah, we just say cheese normally, or different kinds of cheese. So in that case, you make the plural kinds of cheese.
Okay.
Types of cheese.
So these kinds of cheese, they are recommended, or they say that they pair well with fruits or meats. So when we talk about pairing a cheese with fruits or pairing a cheese with wine, what are we saying there?
In that case, we're saying that it's best to eat with certain kinds of food. So you can say, I would recommend pairing this red wine with lamb. But in the case of cheese, you could say, I would recommend pairing this delicious brie cheese with fruit.
Okay, so you actually have brie with fruit.
That's right. It depends on the kind of cheese. A lot of times you see mozzarella on pizzas, and so it's not paired. It's actually a part of the dish.
It's an ingredient, right?
But if you're going to eat a piece of cheese alone, you can have it maybe with some fruit.
So I guess that's the main difference between pairing and having it as an ingredient. Is pairing, you're combining it, but it's not really part of the dish.
No, and as an ingredient, it has to be in the dish to make it work. And so you have a lot of these delicious soft cheeses that you eat at breakfast, or sometimes dessert. Ricotta, cream cheese, these are all parts of desserts, like cheesecake, for example.
Oh yeah, what cheese? What do they use in cheesecake?
Usually cream cheese.
Oh really?
But then you get into these other cheeses, which are semi-soft or semi-hard. And semi here just means part. So it's partially hard, partially soft. And these cheeses are different because you might use them sliced on sandwiches, things like that. In this category, you have American and Colby. And Monterey Jack is also very, very popular.
So these actually do have a more American sound to it. Obviously, American cheese or Monterey Jack. That sounds a little bit different than all the Italian or French sounding cheeses that we had in the soft ones.
That's right. And you'd even have something like cheddar in this category. There's another...
Cheddar cheese.
Yeah, there's another good cheese.
As you said, these are very typically put in sandwiches.
Yeah, I mean, you can use them in different ways. Sometimes we grate cheese. That means we rub it against this machine, a grater, to make it come out in these little fine pieces. For example, on top of pasta or on top of nachos. So we have grated cheese, but you can also have sliced cheese, and that's the kind of that's the way that we cut cheese to put it on a sandwich.
So, for example, if you go to McDonald's and you get a burger, usually the cheese that's on your hamburger is cheddar cheese, right?
That's right. It's a slice of cheddar cheese.
Okay. Now, moving on to our next category. Well, actually, towards the end of the different types of cheese under the semi-soft category, they also talk about Mexican cheeses such as asadero and queso fresco.
I love queso fresco.
You've had this before?
Yes, many times.
What do you usually have it with, or how do you pair it?
Usually it's an ingredient on tacos because it's a little bit crumbly. That means that it's like balls as opposed to being one chunk, one big piece. And so we usually have it like that. Or I've also had it as just a piece of cheese paired with a fried plantain or sour cream. Yeah.
It's actually very good. The thing with queso fresco is all of the cheese, they also depend on how mature they are, how long they've taken to make them. And queso fresco means fresh in Spanish, and this is the main I think factor in this type of cheese is that it's very, very immature. It's a very fresh cheese. You can make it in like a day or two.
Exactly. It just takes one night to sit and to become cheese, basically.
Right.
But other cheeses, and we'll see some of these in the hard cheeses, take a very long time to become their final cheese state. And one of those cheeses is Parmesan. You know, in Italy, when you buy Parmesan, they have these big wheels of it. They're circles. And you have to pay according to how old it is.
Oh, really?
18 months, 36 months. And it gets more expensive the older it is.
So obviously the older it is, just like wine, it has a more intense flavor.
That's right. And there are special characteristics for certain ages. Sometimes people really like the young ones. It depends on your taste and what you're going to use it for. But Romano is another cheese in Italy that's used like Parmesan on top of pastas. So spaghetti, you would grate it and you put it on top of pasta.
Oh, okay. What about they also mentioned this other one, Asiago.
Asiago cheese. Swiss cheese is the one with the holes. Asiago is, I don't know if maybe it's Spanish. But then we have Gruyere, which is a French cheese, and it tends to be very, very, very strong flavored.
So I think Gruyere is the cheese that usually many people use for making fondue. So they basically have this big pot or this medium-sized pot, and all the cheese just melts, and you just dip pieces of bread or vegetables in there, and you eat this just melted cheese.
Fondue, very popular dish in Switzerland.
That's right. But yeah, these all these different types of cheese, as you said, there's so many different types, and according to the age. Now, you lived in Italy for a while, and obviously they are they're a nation that enjoy having wine and cheese very regularly, right?
That's right, and I have to say that people in Parma take their cheese very, very seriously.
How serious?
A lot of people buy these big pieces of Parmesan cheese and they keep them in the refrigerator. And you don't just put the Parmesan cheese on the spaghetti. You also break pieces of it and you eat it alone with some, a glass of wine. Or some people like to put a little drop of balsamic vinegar on top of the cheese to give it some flavor.
Oh, really?
So there are many different ways to eat it. I'm sure it's different all over the country, but mozzarella, Parmesan cheese, Romano, these are all cheeses that are very, very important in Italian culture.
It's very interesting because, obviously we have listeners from all over the world, but some countries have a good culture for wine, cheese, and cured meats. Like, for example, in South America, if you visit Argentina or Chile, they are a nation that actually have a lot of variety of cheese, wines, and cured meats. But if you take a trip to maybe Colombia, they're not really that type of culture. They're really consume cheese and wine in the same manner.
Interesting. I wonder if it has to do with the historical relationship between Europe and a place like Argentina. You know, in Argentina, there's lots of Italian former people who came over from Italy many, many years ago, right? So that might have something to do with it. Or also Spain has a very strong tradition of cured meats and cheeses. They have manchego cheese, things like this. So I wonder if there's a relationship there.
Yeah, I think it's definitely an influence in some way. But the thing with cheese, I think it's in many places it's very expensive.
It can be.
Comparatively to, if you can have a regular mozzarella cheese, but sometimes these other types, they can be very expensive.
Yeah, it's like good wine. If you really want to pay for good cheese, it's going to cost you a lot of money.
Now, what about this, the famous blue cheese? We didn't mention it, but this is a very famous French cheese that basically has mold on it.
Well, yeah, all cheese, you're growing cultures, you're growing these things that are alive, but blue cheese, you can actually see it, and it's moldy. It's white, and there's some blue or green mold.
Exactly.
And some people love it, and some people hate it. I think it's it depends on your tastes, but it does have a very strong flavor.
Well, do you personally like it or dislike it?
I do not like blue cheese, but I love other kinds of cheeses like camembert, which is a French cheese with a very strong flavor, very stinky cheese. So it's not necessarily that it's strong. It's just that I don't like the taste very much.
Okay. Actually, it's very popular to put on salads, right?
Yes.
Blue cheese, a sauce or a dressing.
Blue cheese dressing. Yeah, that's right.
It's made out of blue cheese. It's a very interesting topic, and I'm sure that locally, many people also make, or countries have their own types of cheese. I know, for example, in Ecuador, we do have also something very similar to queso fresco, that's commonly used for breakfast. And here's an interesting thing. They put it in their cup of coffee.
No way.
So
it's cheese.
It's cheese. So basically you have coffee with milk. Very popular in Latin America, and people will take a piece of cheese and put it in their coffee. So obviously with the heat, it won't melt completely, but it will become very bendy and very soft. And then they'll have it with the coffee and the bread. So it gives it a very interesting taste. It may sound a little bit peculiar, but it actually has a very, very interesting taste, very good taste. I've had many friends try it, and they're like, "Wow, you wouldn't really think that you would probably dip cheese in coffee, but
no, it's a very unusual combination." Now, what is this special cheese called?
It's called queso de mesa, which is basically normal, common, everyday table cheese. So it's not any particular. It's very similar to queso fresco, very immature cheese.
So I'm very curious to know if in your country you also have a strong cheese culture, and if in your country you guys do have a lot of cheese, what kind of cheese is it? I know that every country has its own variety of cheeses, and some places like China aren't really into cheese. So you can let us know if your country doesn't really have that many cheese options. So we're very curious to hear about you and your taste in cheese. Let us know. Our website is englishpod.com. We hope to see you there.
All right, guys. See you later.
Bye.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
A type of cheese. Camembert. Soft, not strong. Mild. Solid product made from milk. Cheese. The way something tastes. Flavor. The way something feels. Texture. A small quantity of water. Moisture. To destroy microorganisms via elevated temperatures. Pasteurize. Nationality. American. A type of cheese. Colby. A type of cheese. Kojak. A type of cheese. Quesco. A type of cheese. Parmesan. A type of cheese. Romano. A type of cheese. Asiago. A type of cheese. Swiss. A type of cheese. Gruyere.
Let's try that faster.
A type of cheese. Parmesan. The way something tastes. Flavor. Solid product made from milk. Cheese. A type of cheese. Camembert. Soft, not strong. Mild. The way something feels. Texture. A type of cheese. Romano. Nationality. American. A type of cheese. Gruyere. A type of cheese. Colby. A type of cheese. Asiago. A type of cheese. Kojak. To destroy microorganisms via elevated temperatures. Pasteurize. A small quantity of water. Moisture. A type of cheese. Swiss. A type of cheese. Quesco.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Cheese. I love to have some cheese with a fine wine. Cheese. Where do you buy your cheese? From the local market, of course. I only want the best. Cheese. I found out the hard way that mice don't actually like cheese when my pet mouse died. Mild. Wow, that is too hot for me. Could I please have something more mild than that? Mild. What is your palate most receptive to? I enjoy mild food. Mild. The wine did not overshadow my dinner in the sense that it was mild enough to pair well with the pasta. Flavor. The chef brings out the strong flavor of the steak by seasoning with salt and herbs. Flavor. The wine of my home country is a bold and peachy flavor. It goes well with rabbit. Flavor. The flavor of Brazil during one of its festivals is of celebration and exuberance. Texture. My friend was surprised that the texture of the dinner his wife had made was similar to that of a hard rock. Texture. The texture of the wine I had just bought was dry and heavy. Texture. At first taste, I thought the wine was soft and sensual. By paying close attention to the texture, however, I realized it was rough and coarse. Moisture. I lock my cigars in an airtight case to prevent moisture. Moisture. An important factor in the success of growing your vegetables is the moisture that they receive. Moisture. My friend has to renovate his whole bathroom. There was too much moisture that it caused mold to grow on the walls.